Yep, you know what time it is, man. This is, of course, your favorite channel, man, CTB. It's a Chin Tuck Boxing. I'm your boy, Jay Slay. Say peace. So what up to him, man?
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in.
Most definitely. You tune into a segment we call here Quick Jab. It's when we hit you with the quickest jab in the world. Drop this information off to you as quick as possible with less filler. With that being said, today's quick jab is about Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman, man. You seen these two guys are in the media, in social media right now, calling each other out. I don't know if you've seen Keith Thurman do his whack ass Ali rendition poem. I don't know if you've seen that shit or not. But
Yeah,
Keith Thurman did his little Ali thing with the little poetry he wrote, and Danny Garcia said he wouldn't mind that fight. Danny Garcia has a lot of options, and he's looking into a lot of options. But I think Keith Thurman is his highest paying option. But it kind of leads us to a question here at CTB. We wanted to know, since Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia seem to be calling each other out for a rematch at 154, and nobody really asked for that fight, does it seem to you like Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, instead of looking to fight for greatness or look to fight for a championship, they really chasing paydays?
yeah. I hate to say this because when I say this, I don't fault them for doing it, but I'm gonna give you the honest answer, and my answer is yeah, they're fighting for paydays. They're not looking for how many belts they can get. They're not looking for accolades. They're not looking and worrying about who's the champion, who's not the champion. It's about who they can get paid on. We're taking the least risk of getting a major ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that they got a lot of wear and tear on their body. They've been in some wars. They've been in this sport a long time. They consider almost old men in this sport at this stage. So they trying to settle their retirement plan. This is their TSP retirement plan that that you get on your job, and they trying to find who they can get the nice bag from. And like I said, I won't be surprised if Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman got on the phone behind the scene and say, "Hey man, let's come together and get and talk this fight up, and let's both get paid so we can get out this sport in about another year." But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not mad at them because the reason why I'm not mad at them because I don't see them as major threats in the division they looking at 154, 147. If I thought they were still major threats, I would be upset. Like I would still be like, chase greatness, man. Let me see you in there with the Charlo, the Spence, the Crawford. But being that I don't think they are major threats anymore, I don't mind them getting bad so they can secure their life for their future and also for their kids. So I'm cool with it.
I think Keith Thurman is a threat at welterweight. I think Keith Thurman could make himself a threat. He just had to put himself out there.
You talking about two?
He's a threat to Bud. He's a threat to Spence.
Oh,
He's a threat to Boots. Well, I picked those guys to beat him. I still think they would have to take him seriously. He's not no pushover by no means. I think how can I say this? I think Keith Thurman got to beat himself with the long layoffs, and that's kind of hurting him right now. If he get in the ring with Danny, who Danny just came off a long layoff, but he had a fight recently. So if I'm Danny Garcia, I'm jumping on that fight right now. Like I don't want him to have no warm up fight. I'm like Thurman, you want this money? Yeah, come get this money. Like either you gotta fight me for this money, or you're gonna have to fight somebody like Ortiz or Boots. You know what I'm saying? For less money, but you coming to catch them cold too, and you gonna want to get your ass whooped. Or even a Conor Benn. I think Conor Benn called him out too. Conor Benn kind of commenting on his poetry a little bit and said, "You can't pass my test, Thurman." So Conor Benn kind of looking for a payday as well. But I will say this too. I will say this. I'm not just like you said. I'm not really blaming them for chasing the bag because they fighters. They are prize fighters. That's why, like Mayweather said, I'm a prize fighter, dummy. I'm supposed to fight for a prize. So yeah, I agree with them for the fight. Them fighting for a prize. But how can I say this? I say this. If you Danny Garcia, I give you more of an excuse because you at a new weight class. You moving up to 154. So for you to fight somebody like Charlo, it's too early for you to fight Charlo. So you have to fight somebody up and coming, or fight somebody like Tony Harrison, who also is older and coming off wars, and who he looked okay his last fight, but he kind of like my boy Bond said, he looked chinny in a couple fights before. Keith Thurman, in my opinion, he beat himself. Like he pretty much, like you said, I don't know if it was all injury. Some of it could be just him waiting and seeing what was going to happen and waiting for the dust to settle. But I think he overplayed his hand with the waiting to the point now that he can't get the big fight, the bigger payday, which is Crawford and Spence. So he's digging in the bottom of the barrel for fights. Not saying they're going to see the bottom of the barrel, but nobody really asked for that fight. So I'm gonna ask you this question. me ask you this question in closing. If you Danny Garcia, Angel Garcia, right? Why would you fight Keith Thurman? You know what I'm saying? Unless you really just want that get back, because he did give Danny his first L. So why would you fight Keith Thurman when you can fight somebody like Laura for a middleweight title? You know what I'm saying? That should get another championship belt to add to your legacy. What will make you choose Keith Thurman over Laura?
Money.
Or even Harrison?
Money. Just straight up money. I mean, Laura, like I said, it'll be I think I call it a Canelo accomplishment, because he'll be fighting at 155 and he'll be calling himself the 160-pound champion. So to me, in boxing, that's bullshit anyway, but he would get it. When you look at his accolades and you Google it, it's going to say he was the champion at 140, 147, and 160. Even though he fought at 155. But Laura is not going to sell the same. Laura doesn't speak any English. It's going to be hard to sell and make the money off the fight. Keith Thurman, he's corny to me, but he know how to talk. He know how to talk up a fight, and they got history, and they can make a little money off the fight. Pay-per-view, no, not a pay-per-view fight. But I think he can get a couple more dollars with Keith Thurman than he can with Laura.
Let's keep it honest though. Talking about pay-per-view, Keith Thurman versus Barrios was pay-per-view, and they did. They didn't do too great. From what the numbers said, they only did like 30-something thousand pay-per-view sales from what they saying. So if you Danny Garcia, is it really the money? Is that really enough money to bring you back to fight Keith Thurman? Do you think they can?
They ain't bringing him back though. Keith Thurman coming to him now. Keith Thurman got to come up to 154. So he done had his one fight at 154. Keith Thurman got to come up to a new weight. So, and he got a layoff. Like you said, you got a man that's cold and coming to a new weight class that he haven't never fought at. So if you get Keith Thurman, like you said, this is the best time to get him. Because like you said, when you talked about, you said that he has a chance with the top guys with the boots and Spence and the Crawford. I always say it ain't because of his physical skills, because physically his skills are good enough to compete with all those guys. I think mentally Thurman has checked out. I think mentally his heart is not in the boxing like he is, and you can't beat those guys if you got 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out of the door.
I think he'll wake up for those fights though. I think he went on a choice because he's. Nah, I can't even say that because Keith Thurman it is rumored that Keith Thurman was out there gambling and eating ice cream the night before the Pacquiao fight. So I'm about to kind of contradict myself a little bit, saying he'll wake up for that fight. But if he can't wake up for Pacquiao, he's not waking up for none of those guys either. So maybe he can wake up for Danny Garcia, but I will say this: whoever loses that fight, I mean, they pretty much got to hit the reset button. They will be fighting the next up and comers. In my opinion, they be gatekeepers. I know Keith Thurman said he's not a gatekeeper and he will never be a gatekeeper. But if you lose to Danny Garcia, you know what I'm saying, at 154, after looking bad in Barrios, nobody wanted you not being taken seriously at 147 no more. You have to fight somebody like Boots or Conor Benn to get back in that sweepstakes.
You ain't in the mansion no more.
Yeah, you ain't in the mansion. I will say this though. It might be safer for Keith Thurman to also fight at 154 though, because he won't lose his ranking at 147 if he does lose to Danny Garcia. So it might be better for him to actually fight Garcia at 154. That way he can keep his ranking at 147.
Be an excuse.
It'd be a bit of an excuse, and he won't have to worry about fighting. Well, he have to fight Boots then, of course, but he won't have to be, how can I say, at the bottom of the barrel per se. But you got anything else you want to add to this topic, man?
I think we covered it all for right now.
All right, man. With that being said, man, this is your favorite channel, man, CTB. This is Chin Talk Boxing. I'm your boy Jay Slay. Say peace to him, man.
All right, everybody, please hit the like button so more people can see the content, notification, comment. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500 by the end of this month. So if you don't mind, if you're looking at it right now, just press that button, man. We're going to bring y'all plenty of content. If you love boxing, this is where you want to be at, because if you love boxing, then we love boxing. But most of all, God, peace and love, and we out of here. Take care.